that we have gone for what is the use of materialize when one level of relationship is there, when one level of reference relationship is there. At that time, we no need to checking of materialize option is optional, and we have two level of reference relationship is there. Then we have to check the materialization. Okay, so if we have a two level of so if you have a two level of if we have a two level of reference relationship is there, then we have to go and check our materialize option. So this I'm talking about this materialize option. Okay, and then we have so what is a fact relationship is a relationship exists between the dimension and the fact converted dimension and the fact converted dimension. Okay, and the relationship exists between the same dimension is called as fact relationship. Okay, now we have yet to discuss about the many to many relationship. Okay, so we have seen up to now we have seen, let me see the different types of relationship. So we have seen no relationship, okay, regular, referenced, and fact. Now let me go for many to many relationship. Okay. So this many to many relationships, when we will go, okay, and what is an example? Let me show you the example. Go for suppose let us say that, okay, suppose let us say that I have one table, so which is called author's table. Okay, I have some author table. Okay, and I have some books table. Okay, I have some books table. Okay, so in relationships, usually when you go for in our schooling days, okay, so we might have learned that we have one-to-one relationships, one-to-many relationships, okay, and many-to-many relationships. Now, one-to-one relationship means if you have two tables, in both the tables there is a one-to-one relationship. Let us say that uh, we have employee master table and we have a bank details. Okay, so every employee will have only one bank account, one salary account in one bank, no? So as per the company. Okay, so both the relationship exists between both the tables is one to one relationship. Okay, and suppose let us assume that we have a address table. Okay, we have a address table. So in that address table, let us say that each employee will having the permanent address, a separate record for permanent address, a separate record for local address or present address. Okay, then the relationship between those two tables is one to many. Okay, and the reverse will be many to one. So the relationship between the address and the employee master will be many to one. Like that, we have one more relationship called many to many relationship. Okay. So what is this many to many relationships and when we will create? Okay, when it will happen is, let us say I have some authors. Okay, I have some author. So author one, his name is A. Okay, and author two, his name is, let us say some B, and author C. Okay, I have some author name, and let us say some book name. Okay, so let us say that C++. Okay, okay, C++, and let us say some .NET, okay, and some let us say some MSPX. Okay, now some book ID. Let us say book ID has something like 100, okay, and 200, and some idea for each book. Okay, now you can see that a author can write multiple books. No, say an author can write multiple books. Let us say author A is an author for C++ and .NET. So you will write multiple books. Then similarly, a book can be written by the multiple authors. So a book can contain multiple authors. Let us say C++, this book was written by author A and author B also. Author A and author B also. So C++ contains multiple authors, two authors, which was written by A and B, and A itself has written two books. He is the author for C++ as well as he has written the .NET. He was a part of .NET book also. Okay. So now can you tell me what is the relationship when I look from the author table? So author table here you can see one to many is there. Okay, one to many is there. And then when I look from the books table, now you can see from the books table also I have the one to many relationship. Okay, so combinedly called as many to many relationship. A relationship exists between these two tables combinedly called as many to many relationship. Okay, now let us go. Now this is an example for creating a many to many relationship. Now let us see how we can design that in SSAS. Okay, in SSAS. Now for that purpose, let me go and create a first of all tables in the SQL side. Okay, in my SQL database side. So let me go to the database side. Now let me go to the AdventureWorks. Okay, now I have connected to the, let me connect. Now let us say that we have any author table or books table. Yes, that. Now let us see that. So do we have any table books table? Yes, table books is there. Now let me connect to my AdventureWorks. So it is pointed to the master database. Let me connect to AdventureWorks. Okay, I don't know what happened to the data. Let me insert again. Okay. So how's a book table? Let us say that book ID 1, something like book name. So let us see that book name is so C++. Okay. So let me go for one more book. Okay, let me give some book ID. S2, S3, S4. So let me go for, let's say it is .NET. sorry for this. So it's given and let us say NSP. Okay. So I have four books information in my table books. Okay. Now I have a book information. Now let me go for so set into table authors. Okay. Values. So we have author table also. Let me have author ID 100. Okay. So let me go for his name is let's say something like okay. So how let me go for 200. Let me give some name. Krishna. So let me say that something like Ramesh. Okay. So I have three authors. Okay. Now let me say that I have three authors. So in the authors table, now I have one more table called so sales table. Okay. So let us say some sales table. Now whenever let me see whether the data is there present in the sales table. So we have two tables now. Let me go for okay. Now let me go for select star from we have one more table called sales table. So each book sales. Okay. So whenever sales happen, so I'm storing some sorry here also I don't have amount. Let me do this. Okay. So whenever any customer is coming and purchasing a book, no? So how will you store the amount? Will you store the amount by book-wise sales or we will store the amount like book-wise, author-wise sales? We don't sell like book-wise, author-wise sales separate, you know. So whenever any customer coming and purchasing a book, we will give the sales for entire book. We don't give separate sales for each author. If you have multiple authors, let us say if you have three authors for a book, we don't charge separately, you know, for this author separately, this author separately. So we will have total book of this is the book and what is the sales. Okay. So that's why in our sales table we have to insert only the book wise sales. Okay. So insert into table underscore book sales. Okay. Now let us say that when our book ID 1, okay, let us say it has sold for something like 40,000, okay, or something like 4,000. Let us say that, okay, so let us say that book ID 2 sold for something like 6,000, book ID 3 has sold for something like 2,000, and book ID 4 it has sold for something like uh, 5,000. Okay. Now, whenever we have four books, whenever any customer is coming and purchasing item, now I will say insert like each book wise sales. Okay. Now I have four records. Now you can see. So this is my data. Okay. So whenever any customer coming and purchasing a book, I am storing the book wise sales. Now I have a book table. Okay. Now I have the book table. Okay. Now I have the sales table. Okay. Now I have the sales table in which I have the book ID and sale amount. And I have the author's table. Now I have the author's table. Now if I want to see now if the customer wants to after creating a cube, if the customer wants to see book wise sales, then I can join these two tables by using the book ID and I can get the book wise sales. Okay. Now what about author-wise sales? How much amount I have to pay for each author? How much amount I want to pay for each author? So I have to get the author-wise sales also. No? So I have the author ID. Okay, author ID is name. Now, how can I get the author wise sales? So there is no author ID in the sales table. So there is no author ID in the sales table. Okay, then how can I get the author wise sales? So in these scenarios, what we will do is we will create a bridge table. We will create a bridge table called, okay. So can I insert, let us say that um, we in the sales table we don't introduce the author ID because we don't do the sales based upon the book wise author wise sales. So we do only the book wise sales. Okay. Now, but I want to get the author wise sales. Okay. Can I introduce in the books table itself? Can I introduce the book ID, author ID, and book name? So can I write a data like this? Let us say that book ID 1, okay, book name is C++, okay, okay, author name is, let us say author ID as 100. So author ID as 100. So in the books table, can I add a one more column and make it as book ID, book name and author ID and same book ID. So C++ was written by multiple authors. Then can I make a data like this? So if I make a data like this, then what will happen? I can join with author ID. Now let us see author ID. So 100, his name is Ram. Okay, his name is Ram. So I can connect this author ID and get the book name. And by using the book name, can I get the sales? So can I introduce the author ID column in the book table itself? Suppose if I introduce book ID there, what will happen? So I will get the duplicated entries. So I have to enter the book ID multiple times. So if a book ID is multiple times means this is not a, I have to remove the primary key from this book column. Means usually the master table should contain the primary key. No, primary key means unique date. It should contain the unique date. Then I have to remove the primary key from the book table. Then it won't be no longer will be a dimension. If I remove the primary key concept from the book table, this won't be a, no longer will be a dimension. Dimension means the SQL table will call it as master tables which contain the unique data. Similarly, in SSAS, we'll call that master tables as dimensions which should contain the unique data. So I should not insert the author ID column in the book table also. So this data should be unique and similarly author data should be unique. Now you can see I have only one book ID and one author. Then these tables are called as dimension tables which contains 99% unique data which should contain unique data. Then now how can I get the author wise sales? So in that case what we will do is we will create a one more table called bridge table. So which we will create one more table called bridge table. Okay. So in which I will have the book and his author information. So in this I will have the book ID and the author ID information. Okay, I will have the book ID and author ID information where I will write book ID, okay, and author ID. Who is the list of authors for this book? So if I have in this table I will write, so for book ID 1, if it is written by multiple authors, so it was written by author ID 100. Similarly, for the same book I have the another author, let us say author ID as 200. Okay, now how can I get the author wise sales is, first of all I can join these two tables. Let us say author ID 100 is, let us say he is the author for multiple books. Then what I will do is I will get the 100 join here and I will get the, so list of books he has written. So list of books he has written the 1 and 2 books. Then go to my books table and go to the sales table. Okay. So using this, because in the sales table I have the book ID, no? So I will just go to the book table and get the book information, book ID. I can join these two tables by using the book ID, and I can join this my book table and the sales table using the book ID. Now, like this, I will make a round. To get the author by sales, first of all, I have to join the this book author table, and I will get the book ID, and I will join the book dimension table, and I will take the book ID, and I will join the sales table. Okay. So we have to create an intermediate table or bridge table. This bridge table is called as a, this is not a dimension table, no? This is not a dimension table. Why? Because the data is not unique. Okay. And is this a fact table? It is not a fact table also. Why? Because there is no metric amount. There is no like sales amount, tax amount. There is no any sales details. So it is not a dimension table. It is not a fact table. Why? Because it is not contain sales amount, any metric fields. Okay, any amount fields. It is not containing any amount field. Then what this table is called as is a factless fact table. Okay, we will still treat this as a fact table, but without fact. A fact table without a fact. So we'll call it as factless fact table. Okay, understood? So factless fact table. So understood, Kaushik? Abhi? So this is the called concept of creating a, how this is how we can go and create a many to many relationship in SSAS. Okay, so we should have the books table, author table, and sales table. Apart from these two tables, these three tables, we'll have a bridge table called book, which contains the book ID information and author ID information, and we will call this table as a factless fact table. Okay. Now let me show you. I hope you understood. Just if you have any doubts, please ask me now itself. Now let us see how we can design the SSAs. Okay. Now let us see. We have, yeah.
Basically, we are creating all this with the virtual table.
Yes, yes, I am creating. Now we can see here I have one table called table book author. So in which I have the book ID and author ID. Okay. Now let me show you. Let me insert some data. Book ID 1 is written by author ID 100. Let me see. So book ID is written by author ID 2 also. Book ID 2 was already also written by the author ID 100. Now let me go and see. Book ID 200 is written by author ID 3. Okay, and so book ID 3 is already again written by the, so let us say 300. Okay, so book ID 1 was written by multiple authors. Let us say 1 comma 2. Okay, and similarly book ID 3 was written by author ID 200 and 300. And let me go for book ID 2. Okay, book ID 2 was written by author ID 100, and book ID 2 was written by author ID 400. Okay, so I'm inserting some data. So let us see that book ID 4, we have book ID 4 was written by, okay, we have 4 books now. Let us say book ID 4 was written by author ID 300. So I'm inserting some data. Okay, now you can go and see that we have 4 tables. Okay, we have 4 tables. Okay, book ID, author ID. Okay, so do we have any author ID 400? There is no author ID 400. So let me insert one more author. So insert name. Okay, now I have inserted. Now you can see here I have 4 tables. Okay, in which I have book ID, author ID, book ID, book name, author ID, and his name. And whenever this is called sales table, which is a fact table, so which contains the whenever any book got sold. Okay, I will enter the book ID and sale amount. And in order to get the authorized sales, I have introduced one intermediate table or bridge table, or we can call it as factless fact table, in which I will have the book ID and author ID information. Okay, so if I want to get the authorized sales, so how I will do? So I will get the author ID, I will join this author ID table, and I will get the book ID information, and I will go to the book ID table, and from book table I will get the sales. Okay, now let me see how we can design this in SSAS. Okay, now let me go to our SSAS Cube database. Okay, now first of all we have to add these 3 tables. We have to add these 4 tables in the data source view. Okay, first of all we have to add these 4 tables in the data source view. Now already some tables are present. If I go and introduce some more tables, it will be looking like a clumsy. So what I will do is I will take a new diagram. Okay, I will take a new diagram. So which will open a separate sheet for our data source view. Okay, now let me add those tables. So I have created so I have opened a separate session. It's nothing but creating a separate window. Like we are creating a separate window in a new query. So but both will be pointed to the same database now. So this session also is pointed to AdventureWorks, and this session also pointed to AdventureWorks now. So like that I have opened a separate diagram window for my for adding new tables. Okay, now let me go and add a new table. Now let me add all this book information, author information, all these 4 tables. Okay. So let me add table author, table book author, table book sales, and we should have one table underscore books table also. No? I think it is already added. Okay, it is already added. Table books is already added. Let me click on OK. Okay. Okay. We have the table books. Okay. So let me since these two tables are master tables, that is dimension tables, I can add a primary key here. Okay, for book ID information I can set a logical primary key, and for author ID information, author ID table, for author ID column I can set a primary key for this table. Now I can join these two tables. Let us say this is my sales table. Okay, so let us say this is my sales table. Then what I can do is I can get this, I can relate my sales table on my table books table using the book ID column. Okay, if I want to get the book ID sales, I can create a relationship by using the book ID. Now these two are related using the foreign key and primary key relationship. Okay. Now if I want to get the author wise sales, okay, I have the author ID here. So this is called as a bridge table. Now if I want to get the author ID sales, first of all I have to join these two tables using the author ID. So let me get the join these two as using the author ID. Okay, and from this author ID, I will get from this table I will get the book ID information. Okay, and I can join these two book tables using the book ID. Now let me create a join between these two. Now you can see. So I will get author ID. I will join these two tables using author ID, and I will get the book ID information, and I can join my book ID and book table. Okay, and get the book ID, and these two are already related. So using the book ID, I can get the sale amount. Okay, this is how we can get the author by sales. So author ID to author ID, I will take the book ID here, and I can go and join this with this book ID. Okay, and already it is related now. So using this relationship, I can get the author by sales. Okay, right. So this is called creating a many-to-many relationship. Okay, now let us see. Now, even though we have designed in a separate diagram, it will be the part of main data source. Now you can see all those tables are shown here also. Okay, it will be the part of main sales table. Okay, so those four tables will be the part of main data source. Okay, even though we have created a separate diagram. Okay, now let me go on. First of all, after adding the tables in the data source view, it's okay. Now next thing is we have to we have to add these two dimensions to the dimension list. Okay, and we will call it as database dimensions. Let me add dimensions table books. Next, let me add these two dimension tables. Go to next, and you want the book name. Go to next and finish. Okay, first of all, I have added the dimension tables book. Let me add one more dimension. We have one more dimension called dimension. Let me add one more dimension called table. Now we have one more dimension called, we have added two dimension table books and author. Now after this, next we have to go to our cube, and let me add these two books and authors as a cube dimensions. Okay, let me go and add the cube dimensions. So table of books and table of. Okay, now after adding dimensions, we have to go to our measure group. Let me add the measure. Okay, so we have what is our measure table, that is table book sales. Now we have this sale amount. Now let me add this. Okay, I have created one fact table for table book sales. Okay, now we have to add a bridge table now, so that we have to add it under the measure group, and let me go for new measure, and we have one table called table book author. Okay, table book author. Let me cancel this. Since it does not have any measure, let me add it as a new measure group, and you can say table book author. Okay, so it is table book author is a fact I have added as a fact table, but it does not contain any fact. Now you can see for table book sales, we have one fact called sale amount. Okay, some measure is there, but here it is no measure, it has not contained any measure, any fact. Okay, so it is a default dummy count. Okay, it is a default, it has to show some, at least some count value, no? So that's why it has shown, it is showing some measure, but it is not a actual, it is not a metric detail, it is just a dummy count. Okay, it is just a default measure. Okay, so this is called as a fact table without any fact. That's why we call it as factless fact table or a bridge table. Okay, now we have to define the relationship now. Now go to where we can define the relationship in the dimension usage. Now you can see we have table book sales. We have the measures called table book sales and table book author. Okay, now you can see we have two dimensions, that is table books and table author. Now how can I get the bookwise sales? Now you can see, so it has taken the relationship present in the data source view, and it is already showing here. Okay, we have already created the relationship in the data source view now. So my table books and book ID is related through book ID, no? So we have already created a relationship now. It will take the help of this relationship, and you can see here we are, when I go to the cube, so the my table books, and if I want to see the book wise sales, already a relationship is there, and these two are having the direct relationship. So these two are having the regular relationship, means direct relationship. Okay. Now how can I get the author wise sales? Now you can see that how can I get if I want to get the author wise sales? Now there is nothing here. Right now there is no relationship between your author table and the sales table. Then let us go and see that. Okay, let us go and see that. Now you can see here your author table and your fact plus fact table are already related to each other based upon the author ID. Okay, now let me go to this. Now I want to build a relationship between our author table and the sales table, book sales table. Now go to this relationship point. Now let me select this many to many relationship. Let me select this many to many relationship. Now you can just see here it is asking for dimension is table author and what is the intermediate measure group. That is what is your factless fact table. I have only one bridge table called table book author. That's it. I can select that. Okay, now what does that mean is, so if you want to get the author wise sales, first of all, let me join these two table book author and the table author. Now these two are getting joined by author ID. Now it will go like this. So these two table will get joined first using the author ID, and from that it will take the book ID, and again it will come back to the book table books. Okay, it will come back to the table books and take this book ID and get the sales amount. Okay, so that is what this many to many relationship will do. Okay, so I have to create a relationship between my table author and the table sales. Okay, and that's why I have selected the many to many relationship, and it is asking for what is your intermediate measure group. That's it. Okay, now my table author, if I want to get the author wise sales, and I have to, first of all I have to go to the table author, okay, book author table, and join these two author IDs, get the book ID, and again come back to table books, use this book ID join and get the sales. Okay, so this is how we can create a many to many relationship in SSCS. Okay, in this case the bridge table is compulsory to create a many to many relationship. Okay. Now let me show you the data. Let me process this cube. Okay, so one of the interview question is what is a factless fact table and when you will use it. Okay, a factless fact table means a fact table without any fact, and when we will create and use it is in case of creating the many to many relationship. Only in this place only while designing the many to many relationship only we will go for a factless fact table. Okay, now let me process this. Let us see will you get any errors. Now you can see processing the dimension, table, books, author separately. Now you can see process is succeeded. Okay. Now if you want to see the data, let me go to the browser and click on reconnect one more time. Okay. Now you can see we have multiple measures, that is table book author, table book sales. Now if I want to go and see the sale amount, okay, now you can see this is the total sale amount. Okay, And if you want to see the book-wise sales, then you can go and see. So table book-wise sales, now you can see book name. So this is the sales happened for each book. Okay, so book id. Okay, book id, book name, and book wise sales. Okay, now if I want to know the author wise sales, now to get the author wise sales, earlier if I don't have any relationship, the same 17,000 will repeat if I don't have any relationship. Now we have many to many relationship present between these two. Now you can go and see, it will go and show you how much. Okay, author wise sales, how much I have to pay for each author. Suppose if Kalyan has written multiple books, so it is showing the 6,000. Let us see that. If I so author, and let me drag and drop the author name, and let me get the book name also. Now you can see Ram has written so two books, that is .NET and C++. He should get 6,000 plus 4,000, and you can see here. So you should get 6,000 plus 4,000. So that is something like 10,000. Now if I go on remove this, now you can see it will show Rama has written multiple books, that is 6,000 plus 4,000, should get 10,000. Okay, so this is how we can get the author wise sales by creating a many to many relationship. Okay, by creating a many to many relationship. And this is how we can create many to many relationship by taking the help of a factless fact. Okay, understood? Any doubts? Okay, any doubts, Abhi? Any doubts, Kaushik? So this is how, in which place, this is how we can create a relationship. Now you can see our cube design is slowly increasing. Okay, so now we have seen, up to now we have seen how to create dimensions, database dimensions, how to create cube dimensions, how to create measures, and how to create a relationship between my measure and the dimension, and how many relations you can create. Okay, the last one is mining, so which will be used specifically for the mining projects. Okay, the last one is data mining relationship, which is specifically used when you are doing the data mining projects. Okay, I don't have any experience on those mining projects, so I have also never used this relationship. Okay, so this is how we can create a relationship between your dimensions and the fact. Okay, so by creating these relationships, is your queue performance is going to increase. Okay, so it will increase slightly. Why? Because so in the data source view, when you are selecting the columns, when you are selecting the dimension tables, you are selecting all the columns. Suppose let us say this dim product has 30 columns, you are selecting as an entire table. But while creating the dimensions, you are filtering out the columns first of all. So out of 30, you have chosen only 4 as per your requirement. Now, when you process it, will the SSAS solution will fetch all the columns data or only this 4 columns data? It is not fetching all the columns data. It is just fetching this 4 columns data. Means some improvement, performance improvement will be there, no? Okay, and so this is one of the steps where we can improve the performance. Instead of pulling the 30 columns data, it is now pulling only the 4 columns data. Okay, and while building the cube relationship, now you can see we have one fact table. Under this fact table, are you pulling all the information? Are you pulling all the information? No, we are pulling only the sale amount. Okay, we are pulling only the sale amount, and we are creating a relationship between your sales table and the dimension table. Now you can see when you are creating a relationships, okay, now you can see, mm, let me go for some direct relationship. Now you can see that, so in your measure group table, that is in your measure group columns, okay, whatever the column key columns present here, all those are shown here, okay, and only for joining purpose we are fetching the entire table, but for showing the sale amount while we're creating the measure, we are calling only the sale amount, okay. And now, are you going to write a query for this when you are browsing? Are you going and writing a query? We are just creating a dimension table. Okay, we are just creating a dimensions and we are creating a relationship between our dimension and the measure. And the SSAS solution will take care of writing the query on behalf of you. Writing the query on behalf of you. Okay, and so it will take care of writing the query. So you are just dragging and dropping. Okay, if you want to see the product wise there, you are just drag and drop it. And if there is no relationship, then it will show like this. Okay. Now this is a book wise sale amount. Now let us go for sales amount. So if you are just drag and drop it, it is writing the query on behalf of you. Okay. It will prepare the list of queries for you based upon the dimensions you have selected. So based upon the dimensions you have selected, so in this dimension, you have selected 4 columns now. So for these 4 columns, it will write a query. It will write a group by query. For the existing measures, let us say sale amount, it will by default, it will write a query and put it in the memory for this combination to get the color wise sales. Like this, model wise sales. You don't know, the system don't know which column you can select. No? So that what it will do is it will by default prepare all these queries, whatever the measure, whatever the dimension table and whatever the attributes you have selected in that dimension, it will pre-prepare the queries for you. It will make, it will prepare the queries and make it ready for you. So that's why when you are just dragging and dropping, it is just executing that query. Okay. Now by using this, by creating this cube database, somehow, okay, we have improved some of the performance. Okay, and if you still want to improve the performance of this cube database, then we have multiple options like creating partitions, aggregations, okay, and calculations. Okay, so if you create partitions and aggregations, and again if you define some predefined calculations, it will improve some more performance. Okay, so the basic design is done. Up to now, the basic cube design is done. Now, whatever all we are going to study is, we are going to see is how to still improve the performance by creating a partitions, by creating aggregations, by creating the calculations. If you still want to improve the cube performance, then we have to go for these remaining sections. Okay, and that too, when the SSAS is pulling the dimensions data, let us say if the and it is trying to, now after creating dimensions, now we are out of 30 columns, we have defined only 4 as per our requirement. We have selected only 4 columns now. From these 4 columns also, my SSAS engine is pulling only the distinct data, only the, not the, suppose if it contains 600 records, in the color column, it will just pulling only the distinct colors available in this dim product table. Why? Because the cube is showing the aggregated data. We are showing the aggregated data while designing the cube, while designing the measure. Okay, while designing the measure, what we have selected, we are selecting the, whenever you go for measure, so we are doing the aggregation. So when you write aggregated query, we should require only the distinct data. No? Okay, so there also we are improving the performance. columns. When I go to the browser, if I want to see the color wise, now you can see in the color column I have only the distinct records. Why? Because we are showing the aggregated data. Okay. So somehow by using this cube design up to now we have improved the performance, but still if you want to improve the performance, then we have to go for partitions, aggregations and creating the calculations. Okay, so in tomorrow class we will see how to create a partitions. Okay, how to create a partitions, and we will see how the partitions are going to improve our cube design, cube database performance. Okay, understood? So can I stop now? Uh, Abhi and Kaushik, I'm going to stop now. So Faraj and Anjali, and please give me some 2 minutes. Okay, I will reconnect again. Ishan, please give me 2 minutes. I will reconnect again.